Hello guys, welcome back to another Zwift race. I am bringing you the Stage 5 race action today. We've got the range of 450 to 570 up on deck here once again. I will not be racing this. I am sitting at the back of the pack, but you guys will be able to get to see all the fun action that is happening on today's race. We are less than 2 minutes until we launch for today. In today's course, we are taking on the Hell of the North. It's one of Zwift's newest routes on France, and it is a hilltop finish up the Petite KOM. It's definitely going to be a long, draggy climb. It seems relatively flat when you look at the profile of it, but boy does it hurt. I've done it many times and raced up the top of it. It is definitely not one to shy away from. So, anything's going to happen today with the hilltop finish. Maybe this will be one for the climbers today. Or maybe it'll be a TT specialist who can make a break for it and get to the top before anybody else. Anybody's guess on that one. So, before we get jumping into any action here, let me make a quick switch to my screens here and I will get you guys the full experience as the race unfolds. Less than a minute until we launch here, guys. We've got a nice showing of riders. Everybody is getting nice and warmed up in the pen here. The earlier showing was roughly about 6 or 7 riders not too long ago, but we're definitely getting a good mix of riders showing in the pin now. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 riders so far today. And we're hitting about 20 seconds till the gate drops and everybody's going to come flying out. Is anybody going to go for an early break? Sometimes these Zwift races are just, who knows what's going to happen. Alrighty, folks, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, last second joiner, look at that. That was quite the interesting one. And off they go. Jumping in with Scott Murray right on the front here. Coming out of the gate nice and fast, holding a steady pace. 5.6, 4.5, and he's easing off as they come into the road here. He's got a tiny gap of about 2 to 3 bikes behind him. This will easily come back together. Pretty decent sized field here. So the course, if you're not familiar with it, is going to do a little bit of rolling action through the intestines. We come out of the gate and we're going to make an immediate right hand turn and head towards what has been aforementionedly named the intestines. It's a lot of squiggly bits of the road, a lot of up, a lot of down, and it makes it very challenging for anybody to try and hold a draft through those sections. But it's not impossible. You just gotta be mindful of your power output, keep things going, and you should be just fine. But because it's at the very beginning, people are going to get a little bit anxious. Just like Lovejoy here from Holy Cow, riding off to the front again. Taking a slight advantage using the Tron here. Keeping that nice. It is only 1 lap. He's got a small decent gap of about 4 seconds on the group now. He's holding a nice 4.4. He's digging deep and he wants to make this break real early. But see, here's the thing. Once we come out of these rollers here, we go right into some cobbles. And a couple, not very rolly, but the cobbles will definitely slow some folks down. It is one of Zwift's differences in terrain that does affect your speed and output. You don't necessarily feel it on the trainer as you're riding, unless you have a very specific brand. I forget which one that is. But most of the time, the only real difference you feel is maybe going a little bit slower and your efforts being a little bit harder mentally, trying to get across those surfaces. Lovejoy putting out some really decent work on the front here. He's really opened up that gap now, doubled it here in the last couple minutes. up to 8 seconds now on the large group of 10. Will these rollers be enough to break them early? Or is this group going to be working together and try and bring that back? They can still see them right up the road there, especially coming around some of these tight corners. So they're not terribly far off. Scott Murray making another break for it. Probably got this idea that this might be an early break, but it's anybody's guess here. Scott's still looking somewhat okay up there. He is pushing hard, and he is definitely setting the pace for the group here, as the line is starting to stretch out on the road. Scott definitely making that happen. You can see every single rider there just trying to hang on to a wheel as they come around on some of these descents. But that's the tricky bit of these intestine sections. Come around a corner, you lose a draft in the game, and then before you know it, you're right back into another little hill, and your legs are already sapped from the effort trying to go downhill. Getting a little bit of a clump up, and we've got a couple riders that have lost the break. Ooh, I see. What is that? Shiga making a small attack there. Looks like they are pulling back Lovejoy now. At this point, it's only a few seconds off the front there. People are definitely getting antsy and wanting to make that catch. Good efforts there. But Lovejoy looks like he's launching again and does not want this group to stay on his wheels. But unfortunately, that is the game so far. Scott Murray here doing quite a bit of work on the front here, getting people suffering early. But will it be too much for him this early in the game? Who knows? Maybe someone else in the back of the pack is playing it real smart. Looks like Andrew Jones here is actually playing it pretty smart here. He's probably one of the freshest riders in the group, just from the data I'm getting here. Right next to that is Zachary Bosco. These two seem to be playing the game quite well here, managing their efforts quite well. They're not sticking their nose out into the front too often, except for Zachary here, but he's going to easily pop back here, let a few riders come around him. He's just going to stay on their wheels as best he can. Alright, so the real twisty bits are over with, but we are not done with some of these rollers. We're going to be long and draggy for quite a few more kilometers here. And before we know it, we're going to make a left-hand turn into one of Zwift's newest road sections of cobbles, where we'll come in for a sprint section for our riders to pick up their first power-up option on the day. Today's Zwift race has only two possible options for power-ups. I cannot tell you what those are at the moment, but I will definitely be looking that up for you guys, because some of these folks are going to be using those power-ups quite smartly here. Good jump there by Zachary. Just trying to get back onto those couple wheels on the front there. Alright, so we're not making this first right-hand or left-hand turn yet. We're going to bypass this one, but that is where we will be coming out of when we make our little loop around. So keep that in mind, folks. Looks like Mark Williams sliding to the front there. Not doing too much work, but he does at least have a couple bikes gap up there. It'll easily be brought back and as people cover the gap. And here we make our first left-hand turn into the cobbles. I know I said cobbles, but there they are. There's the cobbles. It's definitely an interesting looking road texture. I hardly notice much of a difference when I'm riding on it, but I do know it does actually slow you down at least by a couple kilometers per hour. And it certainly makes this section just that little bit extra longer, and when you're in the middle of a race, you're certainly wanting it to end a lot sooner than you were hoping. Alright, here we go. Alright, so the power-ups on the day are the feather and steamroller. So, steamroller will be massive advantage here on these cobble section. Perhaps not so much here in the earlier bits with the feather, but who knows, maybe somebody could make decent use of it, or maybe they'll hold on to it until we actually get to the final climb of the day. So, choices. What are people going to do? Going to make another right-hand bend here, and then it's a slight uphill drag to our first sprint banner. No real points for being first across the banners here in the intermediate sections, but you know, as they say, see a banner, time to race, right? Scott Murray putting in a dig, being first across that line to pick up that amazing power up for the day. What he got, I cannot say, but will it be beneficial for him? Only time will tell. See how well some of these riders use their power up. Already gotten one drop in a steamroller here into the group. Is that Clark? Yes, Clark's dropping his steamroller nice and early. They will have 2 more chances to get more power-ups, so maybe it's not a bad idea to be dropping your power-up this early, as we will be getting 2 more chances through another couple sprint sections, through cobbles no less. So getting any advantage you can get at this point, either to rest or maybe make a break for it, is going to be an interesting one. Who is this back here with the Zwift 32 wheels? Is that Mark Williams? No, not quite. I don't think it's Clark. Or is it? Yeah, it's Clark here. Kev Clark riding. Looks like a Specialized with some... Oh, it's Roval. Okay. He's riding Alpinist wheels. Okay. He's got himself a climbing setup here, so... Looks like he's going to be gaining, or trying to target that final climb as a means of getting some bit of advantage and crossing the line ahead of a few others. But will losing out on some of the aerodynamics of a climbing frame outweigh the benefits of having the aerodynamics? It's going to be hard to say. Some riders might be making the lightweight choice because they need the help, or because they want the advantage. I personally would just stick with full aero the whole time, because if I can use even less watts while I'm in the group, then that just means I've got more power to get over the climb at the end. But to each their own is an interesting strategy for them to use, that is for sure. Jump back here to Lovejoy here, who's sitting on the front. Not trying for any more breakaways just yet, but definitely on the front doing a little bit of work. as a small gap opens up between first and second rider there. Bosco's starting to close it down, and he's right there on those wheels. Still haven't lost anybody just yet as we roll through some of the beautiful lands in Zwift here, traversing one of the canals, I do believe it was. All these roads were mocked after some special roads in Sauce, or in Zwift. I'm sorry, in actual France, but they aren't any exact roads like we have seen in some other maps that Zwift's released. Thought I saw one rider fading off the back there, but maybe that was just a visual glitch in my game. I don't know. Results are still showing everybody together here. Oh, we got an attack here by McQuitty going off the front. He's definitely got that arrow set up with the Canyon arrow, and Lovejoy right on his wheels. Definitely not wanting to let this one go. The Tron bike is a very decent setup. It will definitely outpace the Canyon arrow in this particular setting. Looks like Scott Murray is trying to bridge that gap as well. If these three can actually work together, they might actually be able to stay away, but it's looking like the group is trying their best to bring this all back as McQuitty fades back into the group there. What did I just get? Lumaphile has rated with a party of 22. Hey folks, welcome. Getting after it with the race action today. McQuitty not giving back up just yet, now putting in another dig to jump back to these two riders that he so conveniently launched off the front. He's gonna have to dig just a little bit harder if he wants to get back into contention with those two riders. But he's also possibly dragging the field with him. Looks like T. Shagel might do the trick. No, we've got, who is that jumping up there? Mark Williams putting in a bit of an effort there. But it looks like a few quick punches there, and everybody has managed to bring back the small break that was originally launched by who was that? Philip McQuitty, who was the instigator on that situation there. Lovejoy managed to jump into his wheel, and then Scott Murray was third to chase that down, and from there it was just gut punch after gut punch until everybody is back together here. So interesting tactics there. Nobody was able to get away, but they certainly upped the pace and made some folks panic a little bit. Definitely put the hurt into the legs on a few of these folks. But Andrew Jones doing a fantastic job of still sitting in. He's playing this one very, very smartly and is showing some of the best recovery and available power left. I know you guys can't see it on the screen. Maybe I should pop it up for you guys so you can kind of see what I'm seeing. Let me pop this up there. There you go. Now you guys can see a little bit of what I'm looking at. Get some watt prime balance numbers as these guys are racing. Andrew Jones looking to be the freshest out of the bunch here. He's probably playing it really smart. Zachary Bosco in the same boat there, followed closely by Travis Schiegel. These guys are just hiding from the wind as much as they can, which is probably a very, very wise idea on this course. And then save your efforts for the very Doc, hey, welcome to the chat, man. It's good to finally see you again. It's been quite a while. All right, riders dropping their power-ups as they come through on the next sprint banner, hoping for something maybe a little bit better or useful for them. What they're wishing for is hard to say. The line is stretching back out here as Andrew Jones wisely just sits into the back there, holding people's wheels, doing an excellent job. Keeping the draft and not chasing much off the front. Speaking of the front, who we've got up here? Matt O'Donnell looks to be one of the instigators of this small little break on the front here. But it looks like Lovejoy is slowly bringing it back. Nobody's quite getting away just yet. But we've got a couple rollers here, a couple kickers. Folks might be trying to play this one up. Use this little uphill rise. Try and make another quick break. I've seen it done before in another race. I think it was race 2. Where a rider used this small little uphill section as a launching point and made it all the way from here over the top of the Petite KOM and then back down through the intestines until he was finally caught. It was a valiant effort and managed to stay away for quite a while. I think caught most people off guard, and most people were also thinking it's too early for this, and they managed to play it quite well. Doesn't look like anybody's actually gone for the bait with that small rise, but we're certainly going to see a few more riders dropping a couple more power-ups here, possibly going for another roll to see if maybe they'll get that sweet feather power-up for the finish. Otherwise, it's a steamroller, and it's a very short cobbled section after this banner. So once we roll through this banner, if you've got a steamroller, it's really not going to do you much good until up into the finish. So might as well use it while you got it, I guess. Nobody's really going hard through here. Good use of the steamroller for now, but perhaps it was a little too late, because once that power-up's done, if you've got another steamroller, there's just no use for it at that point, as it's all tarmac from here to the finish. Alright, as the riders are coming through here, perhaps now's a good time to announce our sponsors for the day. No, I'm kidding. I don't have sponsors. I'm not that cool. We're still a pack. Oh, it looks like we have dropped somebody. I think somebody ended up actually quitting because I didn't see anybody fall off the back. Or maybe I did and they actually left and disappeared. So it's interesting to say the least. I don't know. Maybe I'm going crazy. Here we go. One's attacking. Phillip making another move off the front here with that Canyon Arrow, and we've got Fit or Wild Motion Fit coming with them with that sick looking do. Look at those dreads. Think those are most Arrow? Who knows? Then we got the nice do of Kev Clark now pulling up to the front here. Looks like he was just covering that motion, didn't want to get away, but he might be doing another one. As Matt O'Donnell now pulls to the front. Keeping it within himself though, as we come back through a couple little rollers and kickers. You know what? I take that back. I lied. There is one more banner before we head up to the climb. My apologies, guys. We do have another tarmac sprint, so you've got one more chance to try and get another feather power up here. Travis pulling this one back. McQuitty's playing some mind games, but he is hurting pretty hard from these attacks. I don't know how much more he's got in the tank. Zachary Bosco still looking pretty good. He's been covering a lot of these attacks pretty well and still has now moved up into being one of the freshest riders for the day. But now that I mention it, of all the riders still here, I'm not seeing Andrew anymore, who I thought was for sure gonna run away with the win up the KOM. But it looks like he's pulled out. That's quite unfortunate. So, Mackie McQuitty putting in another dig there. He is wanting to wear down these riders up the KOM. Will it be a smart move, or is he playing a game for another teammate that we don't see in the pack? Looks like Stephen May starting to fade off the back here. He's definitely got the wheel set to pull it back, so that Specialized S-Works frame and the full disc wheels. Looks like he's managed to make it back safe and sound. But I think he's going for an attack here. Gonna roll off the front. No, maybe he was just going for that sweet sprint time. Going for a PR there, I think. But Lovejoy's now sitting on the front here. Made a decent effort at the very beginning. Coming out of the gate. Was using Scott Murray as a launch pad and tried to get a small break going as they headed into the intestines. Managed to hold it for a decent amount of time, but still was not able to keep it away, as the riders did manage to pull that back halfway through the intestines. All right, no more sprint banners for any power-ups after this, guys. We are about to head into the actual KOM Petite climb. It's going to be a bit of a long drag, but it's going to be anybody's game at this point. Even I'm going to have a hard time trying to guess who's going to take this one, because the last few times I've tried making some predictions, it's been somebody else that comes from behind. But at this point, I think my money is going to be on Zachary Bosco. I think Tyler Lovejoy here might be a really good close contender as well. He's already setting a pretty high pace here at the very beginning of this KOM section. Holding 5 watts per kilo here on the flats. But maybe it's too much too soon. Or perhaps he's doing something more that we don't know. How much does he actually have in the tank? He's certainly emptying it pretty quickly here. And is already pulling a small gap on the field. Looks like Scott Murray is seeing it and is wanting to close that down. Kevin Clark as well, and Zachary Bosco right up there with him. But this gap is still holding. Ooh, dropping the feather. Perhaps a little too early here. But that's just me. I mean, I would have saved that for the very final end. Using that for the most amount of watts per kilo I could get. Because if you're not familiar with this climb, it does kick up to about 7-8% just before the finish line. And if you're digging yourself this hard this early, that 7 or 8% hill, that little kicker can really do you in, and it demoralizes you. If you're not careful, people can actually get away from you. Looks like we're already shedding some riders off the back here, with Mark Williams waving his goodbyes. Philip McCordy is suffering back there, as well as he has managed to fall off the back by a couple seconds and climbing. Otherwise, we've got a decent group of 7 back there, still trying to chase down Lovejoy here, who is absolutely smashing this KOM. I don't know. My money's still going to be on Zachary Bosco for taking this one, if not at least second place. But I'm thinking Tyler might be overexerting himself for this one. But who knows? I don't know these riders any more than maybe you guys do. He's absolutely diving into the hurt locker here. Just look at that, 176 BPM, holding 280 watts, 250. He is certainly motivated. Starting to see some moves from behind. Riders are kicking up the pressure, but Tyler Lovejoy here still riding away from the group here, up to 12 seconds now. Looks like O'Donnell's managed to pull away as well from the group. He's got a few seconds lead on them now. He's going to chase them down. If Zachary's got any chance of making my dreams come true, he's going to have to really dig in, because I'm thinking O'Donnell might actually pull this one back. You can see him right up the road there. And he's got the climbing frame as well. Zachary O'Donnell playing the climbing game. Also going into the hurt locker here. High power, low cadence. He's definitely dragging it out. I don't know if he's already used his power up for the day. He might still have something left for that final kick to the finish. And he's closing it down on Lovejoy. Look at this. Is now just 5 seconds off the back wheel. 4 seconds now. As we come around, we've got 1, 2, 3 more turns to the finish. Absolutely smashing it. Pulling up on Lovejoy now. Is O'Donnell going to sit in, or is he going to go around? Looks like O'Donnell's going to go around him. Final little bit of cobbles here. Make the short turn here. Is Lovejoy going to make a quick kick to try and stay on these wheels? Doesn't look like it, as the gap is starting to open back up a little bit more. Lovejoy starting to show his weakness. Is he cracking? Zachary Bosco's back there. He's started to open up a little gap on the rest of the group as well. Might be rolling it in for third at this point. But it looks like Matt O'Donnell pulling this one in for the final win of the day. I don't see Lovejoy coming in for this one to take the win. From a bit of a ways out, from 15 seconds down, Matt O'Donnell just absolutely kicked and crushed it, coming across the finish line as our winner for the day. Look at that. Fantastic work. Great job, Matt. And then Tyler Lovejoy here rolling it in for second place. A phenomenal effort on the front there. Zachary Bosco being passed by Wild Motion Fit at the finish there for fourth place. Valiant effort there, Zach. And Scott May coming in for fifth now. I'm sorry, Stephen May, followed by Scott Murray, who's just letting it stroll right past the finish line there. Travis Schagel finishing in here for seventh place now. Fantastic work, gentlemen. And now we're back on the course here with Kevin Clark, who unfortunately faded off the back relatively early. Did a fantastic effort up this KOM, but not too far behind, rolling in for 8th place now. Fantastic work, Kevin, or just Kev. And then Mark Williams, who waved goodbye to us before we even hit the first turn on the KOM. Did manage to stay with the field the whole time, and absolutely did a phenomenal job playing cat and mouse with a few others that were trying to make this race just a little bit more interesting. So kudos to you, Mark. You're definitely going to round us out for 9th place here today. I'm obviously not chasing you, so why go much harder than necessary, I guess. Well, there is a time cutoff for upgrades. I do know that much, so perhaps he's not too worried about getting points or any sort of upgrade scenarios to go. Coming into some of the steeper sections of this final petite KOM. And the chat is discussing where Quiddy went, whether or not he is a quitter. I think I saw him finish though. We might have to go back and rewatch the action just to find out. He was putting in some decent digs on the field and was definitely making things an interesting effort for everybody. Great job, Mark. You've finished your 5th race on the Allez series. Great job. Now just get over that final little hump there and get your free kilometers. Alright, so back into me here. Not a whole lot of action on my end, so I do apologize. But I'm just in it for the badge on the finish line, so that's going to be it here for me, guys. But I want to thank you guys for at least watching all the fun action on these Monday races. I'm thinking I'll be in tomorrow for another race. Actually, I take that back, not a race. I've got week 4 training on the docket for tomorrow. A nice long, I think, hour and 40 minutes of some neuromuscular training. Got some a 10 minute block of 15 on, 15 off efforts. I've never done something like that, so it's definitely going to be an interesting one for that. So come watch me suffer through that. But after that 10-minute block, I've got a little bit of an endurance section, and then we tick it right into 10-second sprints with 3-minute rests. Those ones I'm not too terribly worried about, but they are a full gas effort, so we'll definitely see the heart rate ticking up over time on that one as well. So, with that being said, guys, I'm going to leave it here for you. I'm not allowed to go much harder than I already am, so I want to thank you guys for jumping in, watching the great, fantastic effort, and Lumaphile for jumping in on Twitch with the raid of Party of 22. So that is fantastic. I much appreciate that. And I hope I will catch you guys on the flip side. We'll be back tomorrow to bring you that sprint training. So until next time, guys, I'm Husky Chrome with Zed Sun Racing. And we'll catch you on the flip side. Peace out.